enlightenment, Meg's Magical Mansion.
Come, whoever you are, to Meg's Magical Graveyard. As again, I'm out graveyard hunting. If you watch the channel, you know I love a spooky graveyard, and I'm in Connecticut, here at the Cleveland Historical Graveyard, which was established in 1720, and I think I might have some relatives here. So I'm gonna look at some of the gravestones and see if I can find anybody that I'm related to. Let's go take a look at some of the spooky graves. Cleveland Cemetery, believed to be established circa 1700. This is the oldest non-private burial ground in Canterbury. At some point in its history, the grounds were renamed the Cleveland Cemetery, most likely in honor of the Cleveland family, who may have owned this property. Among the early settlers of Canterbury, 22 known members of the Cleveland family are buried here. It is likely that there are numerous other members of the family for whom markers have been lost to time. Many of Canterbury's first settlers moved here from Massachusetts, so as such, a number of Mayflower descendants can also be found buried here. Additionally, numerous veterans who fought in King Philip's War, the French and Indian War, the War for American Independence, and the War of 1812 are buried here. And here's a little information on some of these headstones that we're going to see. Colonial gravestone carvers of the Cleveland Cemetery. Interest in New England colonial burying grounds has been increasing over the years. This is not just for the wealth of genealogical information that each of these grounds holds, but also for the artistic nature of the gravestones themselves. Each carver had his own individual style, many of which were imitated over the years. Unfortunately, the carvers didn't leave written records of their work, who they were, or why they carved what they did. Many of the Eastern Connecticut's 18th century gravestone carvers remain a mystery, and some may never be known. The work of more than a dozen carvers have been positively identified in the Cleveland Cemetery, including carvings from some of the artists you see pictured here: J. Hartshorn, J. Walden, J. Manning, R. Kimball, and other people like David Lamb, Jonathan Warren, the Hanover Old Neck Carver, the Huntington Imitator, and possibly more that have not been identified. I just love looking at each one of their styles and seeing how there's a similarity but a difference to each person who's carving these headstones. And while some of the headstones can be hard to read, if you take the time and put in a little effort, they often tell a lot about the person who was buried there, and sometimes they even give you a little advice or an admonishment about how you might want to live your life. This graveyard was named for Moses Cleveland, who was the founder of Cleveland, Ohio. And Moses Cleveland was born January 29, 1754, and died November 16, 1806. He went to Yale Law School and was a lawyer. He served under George Washington during the American Revolutionary War. And he also later was part of a group that surveyed and mapped much of the Western Reserve Territory, which then became Ohio, which is how Cleveland came to be named after him. But somewhere located in this graveyard are the graves of my great-grandparents 7 and 8 times over. So we're going to go and take a look and see if we can find some of my far-off, distant great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents. We might be getting closer to my great grandparents because the last name I'm looking for is Fitch. But this is not the exact person I'm looking for, so maybe a relative, but not a great grandparent. Let's keep looking. I think we're getting close.
I think I found my relatives. Here they are, husband and wife, tucked carefully away. They have been here since the 1700s, and I'm so glad I get a chance to come and meet them and spend a little time with them.
Sacred to the memory of Colonel Jabez Fitch, who for many years sustained with integrity and honor the offices of Justice of the Peace and Quorum and Judge of Probate. After a long life of usefulness and reputation, he fell asleep in Jesus, January 31st, 1784, in the 81st year of his age. And at the very bottom it says, "Here lies ye body of Mrs. Lydia Fitch, late wife of Jabez Fitch Esquire, who departed this life in hope of a better, August 20th A.D. 1753, in ye 53rd year of her age." Lydia Fitch does have her own complete headstone. Here lies the body of Mrs. Lydia Fitch, late wife of Jabez Fitch Esquire, who departed this life in hopes of a better, August 20th A.D. 1753, in the 53rd year of her age. And these two are my great-grandparents. I believe it is 7 times back. And here we can go 1 generation further back. Here is Jabez Fitch's father, Major James Fitch Esquire, and his headstone reads, "Here lies the body of Major James Fitch Esquire, son of ye Reverend Mr. James Fitch, pastor of First Saybrook, then Norwich. He was born at Saybrook in 1647. He was very useful in his military and in his magistracy, to which he was chosen, and served successively many years to ye great acceptance and advantage of his country, being a gentleman of good parts and very forward to promote ye civil and religious interests of it. He died November 10th, 1727, aged 80 years. So he died fully 50 years before the Revolutionary War in America. And here is the grave of my 8 times back great-grandmother, Alice Bradford Fitch. And she was married to Major James Fitch. It was her second marriage. She was a widow. Her first husband was the Reverend William Adams. But her gravestone says, "In memory of Mrs. A.B. Fitch, daughter to the Honorable William Bradford Esquire, Lieutenant Governor of ye Colony of New Plymouth, relect of ye Honorable James Fitch Esquire, late of Canterbury, a person of rare qualities and excellent endowments, an example of virtue and pattern of piety. She, after an exemplary life, fell asleep March ye 15 A.D., 84 years of age." It's very hard to read this one. And she is the great-granddaughter of William Bradford, who, of course, came on the Mayflower and was one of the original 102 pilgrims who came from England to seek a new life here in America, for better or for worse. Whether we like what they did or not, that's kind of what happened. And so my family here in America goes all the way back to 1620. It's really kind of interesting and strange to think that I have this whole Puritan side to my family. But now let's just relax and enjoy a few more of these beautiful headstones here in this old New England cemetery. I also visited the Branford Center Cemetery, which was founded in 1645. And while I don't personally have any relatives buried here that I'm aware of, this also was a very beautiful historical cemetery. And let's just enjoy taking a look at some of the graves here. I had so much fun grave hunting in Connecticut, and I want to thank my friend Jill for hosting me while I was there. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for day 6 of the 13 days of Samhain, because Parfait and I will be sharing our favorite spooky, creepy horror movies. Some hidden gems of horror that perhaps you might have missed. So check back tomorrow for day 6. Till then,